Take a moment to examine the two panels of this painting, titled Ways of Knowing, Ways of Being. On the left is a bison skull. It sits atop a grandfather rock, considered sacred in indigenous cultures. On the right, a cow skull balances on a stack of books. Together, they serve as a sort of self-portrait of the artist David Garneau.
Ways of Knowing and Ways of Being was painted in 2003. I had moved to Regina from Calgary 4 years earlier to take up a position of painting and drawing instruction at the University of Regina. And I had been wrestling whether my Métis identity would find its way into my artwork. I was trying to find means of expressing what I was thinking and going through at that time. And so the bison represents the indigenous aspect with the knowledge that you might obtain from being out in the culture, but especially out in the world. And that's referenced by the grandfathers, where a lot of indigenous people talk about communing with these large rocks and getting a sense of the history. Versus on the cow skull, which is the domesticated person who's now teaching at the university and getting a lot of his knowledge from the books. And they're all in a big pile of disarray. And so these show these sort of complementary sides. If you look in the distance on the cow's painting, there's an oil derrick in the background. The reason why there's an oil derrick is because my dad was in the oil and gas business, and he's the side of the family that's the Métis side. And I always found that was an anomalous, that he was on the indigenous side, and Métis and First Nations people are supposed to be environmentalists, and yet he was engaged in the oil and gas business. And I think that these sort of mixed identities are part of what a lot of people, Métis or First Nations, are not, contend with.